Hello everybody, welcome to Cultural Cooking Club. My name is Manisha Sawhney, and because it's almost holiday season, I thought I'd wanted to come and share a dish from my culture. I am originally from New Delhi, India, and since it's just about holiday season, I thought I'm going to come and share a dish with you that I grew up with eating as the holidays would set in. I'll be cooking butter chicken with you today. And before I go ahead and share the recipe and the ingredients for the dish, let me just tell you a little bit about the holiday. Now, back home in India, most individuals are Hindus, and Diwali, which is a festival that comes in late fall, is a festival or a holiday of light. It's basically signifies the victory of the powers of brightness over the powers of darkness. So obviously one of the things that we do during that holiday season is brighten the house. And the day of the Diwali is when we would go and we would light the lamps, and I do have some lamps to share with you. These are basically clay lamps, as you can see. These are made of clay, and then people, the local craftsmen, will come and they'll paint on it and do different things. So this is something that's there. These are my favorite ones. Now, as time has progressed, people have started making candles in this form, and it just looks amazingly pretty when it's towards the end of the day. We're required as kids to go and light the lamps and then brighten the house. So you brighten your window, your entire neighborhood, everything just lights up so the darkness goes away. As I set those lamps to a side, I do want to share the dish with you that's called butter chicken. And this is a dish where it's more like golden chicken, which is cooked in creamy sauce. So in the house, it just smells so good. It's my comfort food, and even here in Bismarck, when I cook this dish, my children know it's a special day. So let's move into the ingredients of this amazing recipe. This is a very, very popular dish. You'll be able to find it in any restaurants, but I do think there's something that you can cook. Why not try it? So there are two pieces to it. You're going to be marinating the chicken and cooking the chicken, and then we'll be cooking the sauce. I like using fresh vegetables, so you'll notice I have quite a few fresh vegetables here. And part of that really comes from being in India. More and more vegetables were found in the kitchen garden, and so that's what my mom used to cook with, and I'm just used to that. Notice here is I have my masala dabba. This is a must-have in all Indian kitchens. So this is one piece of thing that I got with me when I moved to the United States. I would not definitely go nowhere without this. And all it has is my different spices that I use every day. All right, so shall we get going? I'm gonna take my olive oil. Now this particular chili powder that I have, this is not very spicy. It more so gives the color to the chicken because we do want it to look a little bit red. I'm not very fond of using food color, so I stick to that. and it just smells very nice. As you add the spices, it just starts to smell really, really good. You're gonna whisk the marinade, and you can see the colors coming in. You can see that it's just, it's the right color that you want. Some people do like it a bit bright red. I like it this way because then I know it's not going to be very spicy as well. This little spoon comes with every masala dabba, and each of these spoons is about half a teaspoon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some salt in there. Now when I'm cooking my chicken, I do like to keep the salt a little bit on the sharper side. As it becomes a little bit more reddish, just know that you might be adding too much of that spice, and which sometimes, at least my children, they really struggle to eat, and so I do want them to enjoy our dish, enjoy the recipe, and so I try not to put too much of it. I would then set my marinade aside for about 4 hours of time. The longer you let it marinate, the better the juices go into the chicken, the spices go well into the chicken, but you don't necessarily have to keep it overnight. Whatever remaining marinade you have, you can save it and add it to the sauce. And so for the sauce, now this sauce is based on an onion and tomatoes. You don't need to chop the onions very fine, and that makes it very easy for me, because other Indian dishes, they do need very fine chopping. So as you've chopped these onions and tomatoes and you have them ready, now here comes the fun part of it. I am going to take my whole spices and I'm going to just hand ground them. I don't like them to be very fine ground, so I do have my mortar, and this is something I got with me when I came here, because I just thought this is only available in India, which is really not true. Since this is butter chicken, you will need to use butter. I do at this point like to add some salt into it because I think it speeds up the cooking. So I'm going to go over back to my masala dabba and get some salt. Almost about 1 teaspoon of salt is what I would put right now. You can tell that this is bubbling and it's kind of ready. I'm going to start adding the rest of the spices that are needed. Now, here's the main ingredient, the one that you for sure need to have, and that's this butter chicken masala. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add about 2.5 teaspoons of this. Now, once I add all my spices in there, that's when I start my plate. I do want to quickly take some of this fresh cilantro because I'm going to use that as I'll be plating my dish. I did have my chicken going, so almost about 25 minutes or so. You want to take that out, and this is what the chicken would look like. The minute it starts to leave some bit of oil, that's a sign that your sauce is almost ready. So I'm going to go in and quickly check my sauce. It looks like it's cooked. It's nice and steamy. I am going to turn it off again just because it's going to splatter a lot. And you can tell that your sauce is cooked when you see that it starts to separate a little bit of butter. That's a good sign. Now what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to add some cream to it. Now, the heavy whipping cream does make the dish very creamy and very heavy. And if you want to make the cream less heavy and make it a little bit more, the dish less heavy and make it a little bit more healthier, you can always substitute it with whole milk too. I am just going to use the same spoon to add water because I want to take that remaining part of the cream in there. And yes, this is my sauce. It's almost ready. All that you have left to add is some sugar in it because it is savory in flavor. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add about 3 teaspoons of sugar to my sauce. I'm going to let the sauce and the chicken cook in there almost for about 5 minutes or so, and then I'm going to check in on that. So it's almost time for us to go in and check our sauce and our chicken, and if this looks just how I would want it to look. It looks just perfect. It's not very thin, it's not very thick. This is the right consistency that you want it on. The one last spice which is optional for you, that I'm gonna add is a little bit of this garam masala. Garam masala is nothing, but it's just all these whole spices ground very fine. And it does have some cumins in it as well. My sauce is spicy enough, and I don't want to kill anybody or not have them enjoy it. So just a quick stir. I usually do not like to cook my garam masala. I add it to the end because I like that hot and the warm flavor coming out of it. If it gets too cooked, it gets somewhere lost with the other spices. So yeah, our dish is ready. I am gonna go ahead and plate it. This is usually what my children would eat around Diwali time because this is our all-time favorite meal. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this recipe as much as I do. And do let me know if you have any questions for me. Thank you.